How long after you were here, how long did it take you from getting here to like get up the rope? When you decided to make that a goal?
It was not long at all. I want to say 4 months maybe. And I remember the first time I did it, in QuickFit we didn't do the ropes. It was more for like, but the ropes were down because it was there for all the classes. So Carrie Ann would work with me. And I was practicing at home, like just with the footwork and stuff. But I remember the first time I got up that rope, I was like, oh my goodness. It was like so exciting. And Carrie Ann told me when I started, she was like, I'll get you up that rope. So I would say it was probably 4 months or less.
4 months or less?
When I started, after I started full time. So it was good. I was happy.
And then at some point along the way, you decided to get your nutrition in check.
Yep.
And then 45 pounds came off over the course of a year.
Yep, and like all the big thing is like my cholesterol came down, my blood pressure came down, and what else came down? Something else, I can't remember what it was, but like all this, my doctor said she wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine, and I was like, I don't want to go on cholesterol medicine. And she was like, well, then you have to bring this down on your own or you're going to go on it. So I remember the first time I went after I started losing the weight, it was crazy. Like it was down like 60 points or something. And ever since then, my doctor's always like, oh, your cholesterol's great, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right. So I don't want to go on cholesterol medicine. That's for sure. So
your cholesterol medicine is here.
That's right. This is my cholesterol medicine.
Come here
exactly.
Several days a week to take it.
Exactly. Yes. And the crazy thing about it is that I'm eating all of the things that everybody says, oh, you can't eat this because your it's bad for your cholesterol. It's bad for your cholesterol. Well, I'm eating eggs and red meat, and my cholesterol came down immensely. It was the macaroni and cheese that was making it bad.
Yeah, processed food is really not good. Do you feel different?
Oh yeah, like I feel more. I guess awake. Like I'm not sluggish. Like I want to do things. Like I can't just be sitting around. If I'm sitting around, I get anxious. Like we got to do something. Like why are we sitting here? And it's funny because that was always my sister. Like she's little, she's always been little, and now I feel like I am more like the one that's always like, let's do something, let's do this, and she's like, well, I don't want to.
So more energy for sure.
More energy, yes, absolutely. And I got that from the workouts first, but the nutrition is really what like boosted it a lot.
Yeah, and that was 2 years in.
Yeah, because I started in 19, and then 2020, and then 2021 is when I started the nutrition.
And it was a picture you saw, that was what made it be like, okay, that's what I need to do. That was the switch that like flipped it for you.
Yes, yeah, because there's been times where I'm like, oh, I have to eat good, but you know, like if you're not mentally there, it doesn't matter. And I proved that yes, you could come and work out and get stronger, but if you don't do the other step, like you're not going to lean down and get that.
Do you feel like you're missing out? Like the way you were eating before, like I'm gonna eat all my favorite things all the time, whenever I want to, and like no boundaries.
No, because I don't. When I first started, I was very good, like I don't want to say strict because that's not really a word, like I was eating all the time, but I was very good on the weekends, and maybe like once every couple weeks I would eat whatever I wanted. So it's not like I ever denied myself anything, which made me feel like I was missing out, because I feel like if you do that, then you're just destined to fail, because when you do eat that thing, you're going to overeat, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, might as well just continue eating like this. So, no, I don't think I feel like I'm missing out on anything, because if I want something, I have it. And then you just go the next meal and you get back on track. So if you feel like you're missing out, then I don't feel like you're in the right mindset yet.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it takes something But well, not sometimes. Usually it takes something to like trigger like, okay, the switch is flipped. Sometimes it's a picture. Sometimes your pants don't fit right after you haven't worn them all summer. Sometimes, a coach running out the door saying, hey, walk around the building next time, but make a left into the gym and do a class. Sometimes it takes that too. So let's talk about some big wins you had, maybe some surprises, results. We kind of talked about your weight loss and your rope climb, but what else that might have been surprising, or any big win or something that was satisfying to you, or anything that falls under that category since the 4 years?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Spartan races because that was the reason kind of why I started. So this last February, I was able to do like 4 different obstacles by myself that I would never even attempt before. Or I would, and someone would have to help me or something like that. But this time I was like, well, let me just try it. Made it over no problem, and that was huge. Like the whole time we were going, my friend and I, we do these races together, and I'm like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. And I kept saying it's the greens, it's the supplement greens, because I had started taking those maybe 3 weeks earlier, and I was like, it's those greens. Another thing is when I hurt my ankle, I couldn't run or anything for almost 2 years. And then when I started running again, I was thinking I was going to be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm not going to be able to do this. But it was like I never stopped, and it was because there were so many other things we were doing here, cardio-wise, that really kept my stamina up, and I was able to do it. So that to me was a big thing, because I was really afraid when I started running again that I'd be like, oh, I can't even make it around the building. So that was huge. And
do you think that's a misconception for people, that you have to be able to do everything to do anything?
Oh yeah. And I think that kind of deters people away. And before I started CrossFit, there was you'd see these memes where the CrossFit people, oh, we never do cardio. And I started here, and I'm like, we do cardio all the time. Like, I don't even understand what this cardio means. I have no idea what this means. But yes, it's I could have, when I hurt my ankle, I could have been like, listen, I can't do this. But this is another funny thing. Alex was mowing my lawn, and I come out the door with my boot on, and he was like, what happened? I just saw you yesterday. But every day, I'd come, and instead of doing running, I would do the skier or whatever. If you use that as an excuse, then that's what it is, and it's an excuse. Anything that you guys gave me an opportunity to do anything I wanted to, within limits obviously, the correct way, so that I didn't have to stop. And like I said, that's right when I started my nutrition, and I was a month, not even, I think it was 2 weeks later, I got my boot on, and I was like, oh. But
I'm happy to hear you say that, because that's a big thing that people say. It's like, oh, I tweaked my something, or I have this, so I'm just going to quit. And it's one of the biggest misconceptions is that this place, what we provide or sell, is equipment and a workout. And it's really not that. It's 4 months to get up a rope that you want to get. That's never going to change. If you just stopped when you hurt your ankle, you still would have been able to get up the rope. And there's so much equipment and so much we can do with workouts that it doesn't matter if it's not exactly what's written, or if you have something somewhere else. There's always a way around that for you. One of the next questions is, what do you think some of the most common misconceptions are about it? And we kind of led into that, is that it really doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing in here. It's what we do in here enables you to do whatever you want out there.
Exactly.
And if you quit because something's not perfect, then you're really just quitting on that big goal that you have, or you didn't have the goal in the first place.
Right.
So what would you say? So you were able to train through, tweaking your Achilles on the run and kind of letting that heal, and the misconception of not being able to do everything to do anything. What else would you say is a misconception that maybe people that have never tried it or aren't in it, or maybe have seen some memes or something, what are some other misconceptions that might not be true?
That you have to do it RX.
No.
I think I've I've been here almost 4 years, and I could probably like a couple dozen times that I've done an RX workout here. Like if you can't do something, then you lower the weight, or you don't have to not come, or you don't have to be like, oh, I have to do it RX, and then you hurt yourself or something like that. Like, you do what you can, and then you build on that every time.
Well, the funny thing is, even over the years, I've switched kind of how I write a lot of the workouts too. And in my coach's video, my coach's notes to the team, it's like, there's no weight on this. There's no prescribed, I would say, weight. Sometimes, most of the time, movement. But really, it's like, this is how I want the person to feel. So pick a weight that they can do maybe this many reps on that's going to leave them out of breath, or they can only do 3 or 4 reps because it's it should feel heavier. And really that allows you, like, the RX is almost a feeling and a stimulus from the workout, not actual numbers.
Right.
Or not actual weights or movements. It's like, however we can get you the best workout, although it might not be RX, the RX for you to get you there is going to be a better workout if you do it by dropping this down, moving this over a little bit, and that's what the coaches are here to help you do. So not being able to do everything is not an excuse for not doing anything. RX, that you have to do it RX, that's not true. Anything else?
That you shouldn't, like it's not as intimidating as you think it is.
Okay. It's not as intimidating as you think it is?
Yes.
How so?
Like you're kind of scared to walk into a CrossFit gym. There's all these people and they know what they're doing, and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. Like, the coach will work with you. I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay. No, that is another huge misconception, is that people walk in and look around and think everybody's been doing it for years. Yeah. And in the initial meetings with people, I say that when that comes up, it's like, well, that person's been here 7 years and that person's been here 5 years, but this is that person's second week over there, first month over there. I did an intro with them an hour ago and they're in their very first class, right? So it's like not always how it looks too. A lot of times you might think everybody knows what they're doing, but they don't. And the only way to know what you're doing is to actually come in and start doing it. There's no going to get in shape for CrossFit by going and doing the regular gym routine.
Right.
It doesn't really work like that.
Another thing is there's certain movements that I have a hard time with, like the snatch. So I use the training bar. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be ashamed of having to use something that you feel like, oh, it's not, like, I have no problem walking over and getting that training bar after warm up, because that's a harder one for me. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to work on this. So I'm not going to hurt myself by trying to be like, oh, I'm using the 35-pound bar. Like, no, I'm going to use what I can to get it. And anything overhead, I use the training bar. So.
Okay. So what would you say to somebody that was like on the fence about trying it, joining, getting into it, looking around at different kinds of gyms, like somebody's 50-50 about this or something else? What would you say to them?
So it's funny that you say this, because I was just talking to somebody about this. Just do it. Like, try a class out. But I feel like one class isn't really gonna like show you what it's about. I am a very class-driven workout person. I need somebody to tell me what to do and to be there to make sure I'm doing it correctly. When you go to like a Gold's Gym or something like that, like, you have to wait for I'm just guessing, I've never actually been there, but you have to wait for equipment. You don't really have a plan. You just figure out, like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, yeah, you could get workouts online, but I just feel like that coached classes are the way to do it, because you have structure, you have guidance, and you have all the proper equipment that you need.
Yep. The coach class it takes the guesswork out of it. So you don't have to worry about wasting your time picking the perfect song, picking the perfect workout, picking the perfect whatever else you think you need. It's like once you get here, we're gonna get you in and out in an hour. That's it. From there, it's on you if you're going home and eating the mac and cheese and the pizza and the chicken fingers, or if you're doing a better job with that.
That's right.
Rapid fire questions.
Okay, oh boy. Okay.
They're easy, no problem. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Favorite song? No, not song, sorry. Favorite artist?
Favorite artist? I'll say Michael Bublé.
Interesting. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Favorite CrossFit movement?
Oh, geez, that was fast. Oh my gosh. I would like to say
I don't like any of them.
I don't know. Power clean is what popped in my head.
Well, there you go.
So I'm going to say power clean.
Least favorite movement?
Ooh, burpees. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm going to say pull-ups.
Least favorite is pull-ups?
Because I can't do them.
Okay.
That's my next.
What's your next goal? Well, that was the next question. What's your main goal for the next year?
I want to be able to do a pull-up. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, with pull-ups, like I feel like a lot of stuff comes with that. Like if I could do a strict pull-up, then I could do a kipping pull-up, and then hopefully I could do maybe toes to bar. I'm so close on toes to bar, but I feel like those are all connected somehow. So if I could do one, maybe I could work into the other ones. But that's what I want to, that's my goal this year, is to get those.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
No, man. Try it out. It's awesome.
No, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.